This part of the video, we will talk about fractional distillation. What fractional distillation is the separation of a mixture of hydrocarbon mixture into components, into its components or into fractions. Chemical components are separated by heating them at a high temperature. And then what do you see is that the temperature of the hydrocarbon, in our case, the boiling temperature of the hydrocarbon is reached. Therefore, it is a vapor solution or a vapor state of the hydrocarbon. And then it is going through the fractional column into the cooling or condensing, and then as a result of this it is accumulated into the receiving flask. This is the main principle of fractional distillation. So you heat the hydrocarbon, and then as the temperature is increased, then the hydrocarbon compounds having different boiling points will evaporate and then will go and then will be accumulated in different sections of the fractional distillation. But this is as the kind of the main principle of it. Here is a picture of the fractional distillation. You have here at the very bottom, you have crude oil. Crude oil is coming here. And as you see, it is heated up. And as a result of this, the hydrocarbons that have a higher temperature, boiling temperature, will go fast to the top. And those are all the methane, ethane, propane, and so on that have a boiling point at less than 40 degrees Celsius. So they will be going at the very first one. And then as the temperature, as the heat is added, the temperature is increased. So then hydrocarbon compounds that have C5 to C12 carbon chain will be the gasoline and stuff will be on the second one, kerosene, and then so on. They will be fractions and fractionized, will be parts taken out as the temperature is increased. And then we see here that we have the large carbon chain or the higher boiling point for the carbons that are with a very large carbon chain. The problem, though, with the oil that is in Alberta is that the oil that we have in Alberta is the oil sand type sand. So what do you have actually there is not crude oil, but it is sand and oil mixed up. So the very first process that we have to do is the oil sand that we have as a resource into our province is that we have to separate the oil from the sand. And the best way to do that is through solvent extraction. So solvent extraction method. What solvent extraction is, it is just combining two solvents that are not soluble to one another, shake them, and then the polar compound will go to the polar and the non-polar will to non-polar. So you will have a separation of the polar compound and the non-polar compound. This is like a liquid kind of separation. It involves using the solvent and is used across multiple industries, including the process of making perfume, vegetable oils, and commonly used in petrochemical uh, industries. So what do you have here is that you are mixing them up. A schematic view of the solvent extraction is this one here. When you have miscible means that they are not soluble to one another. So here you have the oil sand or organic solvent, and then here you have the aqueous solvent, and here is the second part of it is, and this is very schematic, guys. You shake and stir them together to allow molecules to partition, so meaning that they will react and they will be separated from one another and will connected somehow with the aqua solvent. And then what do you see here? Polar is up on the top and non-polar is at the bottom. Okay, so you will see a separation of the polar and non-polar, and on this way, then you take that and then you put it into the fractional distillation, which is the crude oil. So this is pretty much what you need to know in terms of the fractional distillation and the solvent extraction. Just know that the reason that we have fractional, what is fractional distillation? First, it is separating into different hydrocarbon chains based on the boiling point, and the way that it is built that we have a tower where at the end the bitumen is added, and then temperature is increased, and therefore what do you see as the temperature is increased, heat is added. So as the temperature is increased, the first one that will go up to the top of the tower will be the one that have the lowest boiling point, and then gradually they are fractioned into higher and higher and higher until you go to the very end that are hydrocarbons that have the longest carbon chain. But the characteristic of the oil sand, which is an amazing resource that we have here in Alberta, is using solvent extraction. And the solvent extraction principle of it is that you are mixing two immiscible, meaning that they are not soluble to one another, and then you shake them, and then you separate polar compound from a non-polar compound. And in our case, in the solvent, in the sand oil, you will see bitumen and at the very top, and then you will see the other parts of liquid water and sand or clay at the very bottom. Those are the things that you have to keep in mind when you are looking at either the fractional distillation or to solvent extract. We'll move to reactions now on the next videos, and I will see you there.